Hi, this is Charles 9mm. Haven't seen you in a while. This is just an update. I don't have a product review to review for you today. Just want to talk to everybody and say hi and tell you what's going on. A lot of great reviews coming up. I'm really excited about some of the stuff we're going to be looking at. Of course, knives. We'll be looking at some knives. I've got some really cool knives to review, which I'm really excited about looking at those as well, because I think you're going to like them. A couple handmade jobs too coming up. I also been looking at a little bit of archery equipment. We got a great bow I'm going to be looking at in the next few weeks. That's going to be a cool thing, especially for those of you who are survival archers. It's going to be pretty cool. Also, I'm going to be looking at blowguns and Randolph Engineering sunglasses are coming up as well. Today I have on my aviators, which I've done before. A little bit of footwear too. There's some great boots I want you to see. And today I hope to answer a couple questions that people have had. A couple questions people have had recently are about things like steel, the difference between carbon steel and stainless steel for knives especially. That's very easy to answer. Carbon steel and stainless steel are pretty much the same thing, except for the percentage of chromium. Now, when you add chromium to steel, it affects its the corrosion rate, the oxidation, which we call rust. And so what makes steel stainless is when you get into the 11 to 13% range and above, that means it's stainless. Now, what happens with stainless is the more chromium you add, the less chance of the steel rusting and oxidizing and corroding. But you also add brittleness to the steel. So you have to walk a very, very fine line between adding chromium to resist rust and ruining the properties of the steel, because then it becomes very hard and brittle. And when I mean hard, it's not a good hard. It becomes hard like glass hard, and it could actually shatter and chip, and you don't want that, especially in a survival knife. So you want to walk that fine line when you're looking at stainless, and that's why some of the real expensive stainless steels are walking that edge. They just get on that edge, and they add other types of elements to the steel to affect the flexibility and hardness and so forth, while retaining that ability to resist rust. That's why a lot of people who just don't care about the rust, like me, prefer a carbon blade. If you have rust, you just get rust. You just don't, in a survival knife, you just don't worry about it, in my opinion. And there's other ways to treat it as well. Some of the great companies like Tops actually will use carbon steel and then put like a coating onto it, like an epoxy coating or a powder coat paint or something of that nature, a Teflon coating as well. So the only part that's really exposed to the elements is the edge, and that's pretty cool because it kind of gives you a best of both worlds in some ways. I think that stainless blades do have a place. I like them in my folding blades, especially because I carry it in my pocket and it might get sweaty or wet, or and it's really hard on a blade to carry it in your pocket all the time because it gets lint and moisture and all sorts of things. So, I don't like to have to oil my blades, because then, a lot, if I carry it in my pocket, because it can ruin your pants if you have, some kind of, oil or some kind of rust inhibitor on the blade. And you don't have to worry about it if it's stainless. You just stick it in your pocket and not worry about it. Just make sure that the joint is well oiled, which usually to the point where it won't drip out. With that said, I think that answers most of the questions about steel. Some of the questions are, why this steel for this blade and this steel? A lot of it really comes down to preference. What you will find is in swords, the steel will be more flexible. It has to do with not only the steel, but in how it's quenched and how it's tempered, because they want more flex to the steel, because the blade on a sword sticks out real far, and so it's going to have a lot more linear deflection and a lot more bend chance of bending it, and you want it to be able to spring back. So you're kind of, again, walking that fine edge between flexibility and hardness. You want the edge to be hard, you want the spine to be elastic, and of course that would mean a little bit softer Rockwell. So that's why some blades are differentially heat treated. In other words, the edge, the cutting edge, is kept really hard, and the spine is not. The spine is quenched differently so that it will have that flexibility. So you have the cutting ability, and then you also have the the flexibility, so it can withstand the beating that a sword will take. For instance, files are hardened all the way. That's why you can take a file. It's very hard. You can file all sorts of really hard materials with a file. It doesn't damage the file. But you go take it over and smack it against your workbench, it'll shatter like glass. So you kind of understand what I'm saying. Some of the other things that I've been talking about with people is some people have mentioned that I've lost some weight. And yes, I have. Yeah, thank you for noticing. Yeah, and they asked me, how did you lose weight? What did you do to lose weight? What's the difference in your diet? I said, well, my wife, who owns a health food store, I went to her and asked her, I said, what can I take to lose weight? And she said, you can start by taking your ass off the couch, and that should help. So I took that as a hint. So I've been working out real hard. I've been running almost every day and swimming, lifting weights, and cut out all sugar, anything with sugar, and most carbohydrates, and up the protein quite a bit. So eat a lot of tuna fish packed in water, a lot of raw vegetables, no sugar whatsoever. I do eat some eggs, and I will have a potato once in a while. That seems to be okay. But I've been dropping a lot of weight. So yeah, thank you very much. Oh, and the other guy, somebody else said that I was a senile old man. Somebody wrote that in. Why don't you, the guy who wrote that about me being a senile old man, wouldn't that be sad to go tell your friends that you got your ass beat by a senile old man? So I don't know. Everything kind of works out in the end. That's pretty much it for today. Great talking with you. Nice seeing everybody. And it's really, I love your letters, even the negative ones. They're a lot of fun. And please keep watching, because we've got a lot of reviews to do. In fact, I'm kind of backed up. Hope to do some soon. Take care. Have a great day, and hope to see everybody really soon. Okay, bye.